So I also put some eggs into the incubator. So I bought some fertilized eggs because I don't have a rooster at home, so I can't really use my own eggs, unfortunately. I sent, I mean, I bought some eggs from someone I know who has a rooster and a lot of hens, and I put some in the incubator. So I hope that they will hatch in 21 days, and from there I will be able to grow some little hens. I will probably offer them around because I already have 5 chickens, but I really like the process, you know, of hatching them and growing them a little bit. I think it's very fun. It's very rewarding, you know, when you put an egg into an incubator and 21 days later you have a little living creature that is super cute. It's really something I enjoy, and I'm sure a lot of you who watch my channel, who watch me growing those fish, you will probably be very interested to incubate your own eggs. It's very rewarding. And you can do it in the city. You know, it's, I live in a suburb, and as you can tell, I don't have much land. But that's enough to keep some hens. And so if you incubate some eggs, you will be able to grow them at home. And if you have too many of them, you can offer them around. A lot of people are looking for hens. They are a very nice animal to grow in your backyard and to have eggs and to eat the eggs every day. You know, when you live in a city, you need to be very careful of what you do, not disturbing your neighbors. And one thing about aquaponics that is really cool is that you can grow a lot of food, I mean, yeah, a significant quantity of food on a small surface, but also it doesn't make any noise or it doesn't smell. So it's very good for the neighbors because they don't even know I have fish. Of course, most of them I already gave them some fish and some plants, so they know that I have fish growing in my backyard, and most of them, they came around and they really enjoy seeing it. But from their perspective, when they are at home, they can't really hear anything. It doesn't make noise, right, fish? So that's a really cool thing. That's why aquaponics is so cool, that you can do it everywhere. If you are in the countryside, that's perfect. But if you are in the city, it's also a very good thing to do, and it's, as you know, it has a very ornamental impact. It really reconnects you with nature. But for chicken, it's a bit the same thing. It makes a little bit of noise, but not much at all, you know, if you have just hens. Of course, if you have a rooster, that's another story. Personally, I love roosters and I love the noise they make, but I know a lot of people don't like it. Especially in a city, you can't, it's impossible to grow a rooster in a city. You can be sure you would have troubles with your neighbors. And that's not what we want, right? The aim is to live in good terms with all people around us, and only to bring positive things and not negative. So even if you like roosters, such as I do, unfortunately, you can't have them in the city. But for hens, no problem. So if you're hatching some eggs, you can definitely grow them and keep the hens. And I mean, you hatch them from eggs. And one of the cool things with chicken, with birds actually, is that, you know, when they hatch, the first moving creatures that they see it as their mother. So if you're hatching them at home, they think you are their parents. And that's quite cool, because then when you grow them, they have a very, very interesting relationship with you. You know, they are not afraid by you, and it's way easier to take care of them. So I really like hatching them eggs. I think it's hatching eggs at home. It's very, very rewarding and very fun, especially if you have kids. So you know, you start from eggs that are not moving. They don't seem alive, and 21 days later, you have this super cute creature. I think it's super cool. So that's something I recommend you. You know, on this channel, I like to talk about aquaponics, of course, because this is my specialty. My whole life has been evolved around this technique, basically. But it's not because I do aquaponics that I don't also do other things. I think aquaponics is one element. As I said in my previous videos, I think the idea is to grow a bit of food at home with small systems, so not having a huge one. Like for instance, I do chicken, I do hens, but I live in a city, I don't want to have like 100 hens on my backyard. I just want to have a few and complement, you know. The hens, whatever they do, they're going to eat some waste of the aquaponic system sometimes. If I have too much plants, or if I have some waste from the insects that are growing, you know, the pests that can be growing on the plants. I can use the chicken as a pest management. I can use them to recycle things that I don't use in the aquaponic system. And the chicken then, they produce some eggs, but also, you know, they're going to produce a very nice compost. You know, the waste of the chicken can be used in the garden. It's excellent, actually. So you need to interconnect all those different systems and to take the best of each and to create some connection where you use a waste as a resource. Yeah, that's the idea for me. That's how I see things, and if you do this, it's way more interesting than just having one system. If you just grow hens and you just give them food every day and you collect the eggs and you don't connect them with the rest of the other ecosystems you have in your house, you are missing out. You can really connect things around and take advantage of everything. As you know, I also keep bees, and I really like those things. Bees are only positive because they come around and they have a very positive impact on the crop you may have, you know. They come and they fertilize the plants, in the same time they produce honey. So that's the idea. So in this video, I mean, yesterday I just added, or actually the day before yesterday, I added some eggs into the incubator, and they're going to hatch 21 days later. Well, of course, not all of them will hatch. You know, there is not only just a certain proportion, but I think it's really, really, really cool. Okay, so I'm done feeding the trouts. They will eat way more, but you know, sometimes it's better to spread the food during the day. So again, if you are new to aquaponics, you can feed your fish once a day. You can feed them even once a week if you want. But the more often you feed them, and the more productivity you will have. So for me, during the weekend, if I am at home, I will feed them maybe 3 times a day. When I used to work in the trout farms, that's what we used to do, 3 to 4 times a day. That's what we were doing. The more often you feed them, and the more they will eat during the whole day, you know. So that's the idea. Try to spread the food. But if you go on holiday, you can go and you can not feed them for a month. The fish will be fine. That's not an issue. But if you are at home and you enjoy doing it, I enjoy feeding the fish, you know. And that's when I am at home that I have time to talk to you. So, you know, when I am feeding the fish, I like talking to you, and I really think it's a really good way to make videos and to share with you what I am doing. So for me, it's a good moment, you know. So I don't mind doing it in the morning. Of course, this afternoon when I will feed them again, I'm not going to make another video. But that's a moment I really enjoy. Sitting here aside the pond, watching the different plants, watching the ecosystem, and watching the fish, of course, because when you feed them, it's a special time where you can really see the fish on the surface, watch the behavior, making sure everything is fine, seeing how they grow. So it's a very specific moment when you feed your fish, and I really enjoy it. So now we will go to the shed and I will show you the improvement I made from yesterday. So yesterday that was a big mess, as I was saying, and today there is a bit of improvement. I also took this opportunity yesterday to redo the stepping stones. So all the stepping stones now, they look quite good to go to the shed. And so here is the shed I was talking about. So I have two sheds. One that was already there when I bought the house, and one that I built with when I did the aquaponic system. So in this shed there was a big mess, and now it's a little bit more tidy. I still have some work to do. But what I have done this shelf here, and this shelf is just a wooden shelf that I made quite quickly. You know, it took me a few hours, but I'm very happy because it's quite steady. You know, it's strong and it's not going to move anywhere. I did this rack here, so this rack is very basic. I don't know if you see well, but basically it's a rack where I just fix a board to the wall of the shed, and then it allows me to put some tools on it. And then what is maybe more interesting for you is this thing here. So you see, I just fix two rings. So those rings, they are made out of a pipe that I cut. I cut a slice of the pipe. You see, a 2 centimeter slice approximately, and then it allows me to fit whatever long sticks or whatever I have, you know, so it's some tools. I do a lot of spearfishing, so I got my arrows, my shaft that are inside. I got whatever, you know, a lot of different random things, and I will add more. So that's something you can do at home. Also, I put this here. You see, it maintains all the pipes against the wall. So it's now neat and tidy. And now I can walk on the shed, no problem. I still have this thing to throw away to the bin, and I have a bit of work to do today to tidy up a bit better. But at least we can walk around. It's this shelf here. You see, I got now all my fish food that is there, and I'm very happy. All the fish food is here, the chicken food as well. I put it here. So this makes a massive difference now, because everything is good, and this shed is pest free, so there is no mice or rat that are able to come here. So it's very important when you store your fish food to make sure that it's in an environment where, or in an area where it's dry, it's not exposed to the sunlight, and it's pest free. So you see, to fix the boards, I just use this type of screws. And that's what I use to fix the rings from the outside, you see. It's fixed to the wall of the shed. How are we, chicks? Seems all right. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I will wrap the video here. I will maybe show you the progress of the trees just before, because I'm keeping an eye on those here. Because you see, the leaves are coming, and that's something I really like. I watch my trees with a lot of pleasure.